Welcome. It's Kenny In The Kut, Season 3, Episode 3. Oh, Season 2, Episode 3. I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. What's going on, y'all? This is your neighborhood CCRC, Mr. Gene, coming through live and in full effect. Coming from world-renowned Southeast Queens. It's November 10th. Man, I don't even know where to start because it's been a lot going on since I last recorded. First of all, I just want to thank everybody who's been tuning in to the episodes. I want to give a special shout out to everybody that tuned into the last episode about civic engagement. I got a lot of good feedback about it, and it's been very positive. And I'm just really thankful that everybody took the time to really listen to what I had to say. I hope that our young people in pathways took heed to the message because I felt like it was very important. It was very important to talk about civic engagement. And before we go into this one, just piggybacking on what I was talking about in episode 2, as of this recording, the results are in with a couple of states pending, still counting votes. But the Electoral College has been determined that Joe Biden will be the next president of the United States. So I'm pretty sure that the final count is probably not going to necessarily be 279 to 214, but Joe Biden and Kamala Harris got the 270 votes that they needed to win the election. So pending, a concession, which I'm not really holding my breath over, to be honest. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will be the next president and vice president of the United States. The Senate is tied at 48-48. I believe there's still some votes still being counted in certain senatorial races. Two of them might get recounted. And in the House, the Democrats got a 217 to 201. So that's pretty much what's going on as of this recording. I do know that in Georgia, they'll be running off, I believe, 2 of the seats. So that may determine if the Democrats actually get the Senate, get control of the Senate. I think they will end up getting control of the House. So all of these things are things that y'all definitely should be keeping an eye on. As far as New York is concerned, like our election cycle is pretty much beginning. Usually presidential years in New York City, the mayoral election is right after. And there's usually a lot of local elections running off too. So there's a lot of things that's going to be up for grabs in New York State and New York City alone. So I'm definitely encouraging y'all that if y'all didn't register to vote, register to vote. Definitely you have time before, I would say y'all have more than enough time before June because that's where a lot of primaries go down. So y'all got time, but I definitely want y'all to get on top of it. I'm gonna put a link. I put a link in the description where you can go register to vote online, and it only takes 5 minutes. So you'll get that out the way, and it's like not like you gotta pay for it. It's 5 minutes. And you register to vote, you get your information. Once you get your information, give me a holler. We can talk about it, and I can, help y'all figure out how to use the vote that you have and how to go about making sure that you're using it in the proper way and that you're being counted and you're doing the work around that. Well, there's a lot of work that goes into that, to me, that goes into voting in the context of civic engagement. Talked about it in the last video. If you ain't see it, definitely go check it out. But long story short, we want to stay consistent. Just because the presidential election, the presidential election is coming and gone doesn't mean you get to sit down and it's business as usual. There's always work that needs to be done on the local level. So hey, go out there and get it done, right? Real quick though, next year's elections, we got borough president, city council, mayor, comptroller. Now the comptroller is the person in the city that they control the purse strings, right? They control the money, like they keep track of the money. So that's a very important decision. Y'all should definitely be keeping up to date on who's running for comptroller, know who they are, do your homework on them, and then you make an informed decision off of that. As well as public advocate, district attorney. And we have, I believe, some other special runoffs. So please pay attention to all that. Register to vote. I also put an article about who's running in New York City in 2021 also in the description. So click on that, read that, get educated, get informed, and do what we got to do. Um, Also, let me just say this also, since we're also in that season, we are still in a pandemic, so please act accordingly. You got rates, the rates are kind of spiking up across, not only like across the city, but across the country. I just looked at a map. Every state is red, and New York is trending back up in that direction. So please act accordingly. Wear your mask. I only took off the mask so I can record this video. My mask is right here. I take my vitamins. I do my best to be socially distant, and I'm trying to be very responsible about where I go and who I'm with because um, it's not necessarily only about me. It's also about the people that I'm around, and we want to make sure that we're doing what we can to stay healthy because we are still in the pandemic. So please act accordingly and be responsible. But yeah, moving on. Besides that, everything is everything. We out here doing what we can with what we have, and we trying to make it happen however we can. Usually, this is my favorite time of year because my birthday is around the corner. Actually, as I'm recording this, my birthday is tomorrow. Um, but at the same time, I always enjoy this part of the year because of the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, where we get to spend time with the family. And the only thing is, because we're in a pandemic, it might work out a little different because we might not be able to gather with our families the way that we're used to. I'm gonna just take this off, try to get a little comfortable. Um, so we can't gather with our families the way we used to. We can't gather with our friends. I don't know about y'all, but I know for me, I try to kick it with my family during the holiday season. I might just go also hit up my friends, do a Friendsgiving. That's a thing now. Like the concept of Friendsgiving is kind of like picked up over the years, but it's a really cool thing. It's like, you get a chance to go kick it with your friends, have dinner, listen to music, play some games, laugh and have a good time. Really enjoy being around some good company, really good vibes. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be a little different because we're in a pandemic. But technology's a thing. So what I might end up doing this year is I might end up doing like a Zoom meeting or like a house party where we meet, we chill, we politic, we laugh. Might do like a stream on Twitch. I know a couple of DJs that do Twitch. I know a lot of y'all are familiar with Twitch, especially if you're gamers. So I might be linking up with one of my friends who's a DJ. He has a Twitch channel, so I might just be like, "Yo, come through and do a quick 2 hour mix for me and my homies, so we could just have some fun and enjoy ourselves." That's probably one of the things that I'm doing for different for the holidays this season. Just gonna probably try to see if I could do more virtual meetups. Um, I'm also gonna just, like I kind of really been like the last couple of years, I've been really getting back into the holiday spirit in a sense. It's been a lot more festive for me the last couple of holidays. So I know we're in a pandemic, so I'm looking to keep that going. So I just been really up in my self-care, and that's kind of what this episode is about, because we're dealing with seasonal depression. Seasonal depression is a real thing around this time of year, and I know some of my friends are dealing with it. Some of the people I know had issues with it. Um, but for the most part, I can say that um, I love music, right? So no matter what I'm going through, I'm always gonna have a playlist ready. Like, I have a playlist for everything, right? I literally have like my Spotify open, as much as I can. Like if some of y'all been to JLC to see me or to see any of the CCRCs and I'm in the vicinity, you notice we always have music playing. I have a really I have a really great playlist for I have a really great playlist for the office. It's a combination of all my favorite music, but a lot of the stuff that I also listen to, I'm heavy into hip hop. As y'all can notice, I don't know if y'all really notice, but we're just moving to the side real quick. I had to give it up for my man LL Cool J, Queens native. Shout out to Hollis. Shout out to Hollis. Shout out to Northside. Everybody from that side of town. I hope y'all know that. It's a big deal over there. When I say it's a big deal, is because Hollis is home to LL, Run DMC, Ja Rule. There's so many different people come from Hollis. Stephen A. Smith, who's on ESPN. Um, this is LL Cool J's second album cover, Bad, which came out in 1987. I was Andrew Jackson High School. So this is right here in Queens. Some of y'all probably know where this at. Some of y'all probably drove by there, walked by there, and y'all probably was like, okay, this is Campus Magna, but there used to be Andrew Jackson. So that's Andrew Jackson, LL. He got he got the leather suit on with the rope, the Kango. It's really iconic, really 80s hip hop. Queens, real big Queens energy. So I was like, yo, I'm putting him in my background. I'm putting him in my background today for this episode because this part of his a lot of his music was part of like my self care. I really enjoyed listening to his music. He's one of my favorite artists. So one of the things I do is I curate a lot of different playlists, not for myself, but sometimes my friends would be like, "Yo, I want you to make a playlist for me." A lot of the joints that I usually listen to, I listen to a lot of old school music. I listen to a lot of old school music. Sometimes I don't even listen to music past 2004. And I have a playlist. Like I said before, I have a playlist for every different. I got a playlist for like every kind of occasion. Um, I got a playlist for the weekday. I got a playlist when I'm driving to work and it's the weekday. I got a playlist, school days playlist, which is kind of like I always had a school days playlist from when I was in high school. So there was certain songs that I used to like listening to, when I was on my way, when I got home from school, or like in the morning before I went to school. It was certain songs that I would play. Back in the day, we had these things called cassettes, right? And certain, this the way we used to do the cassettes is right. You got a cassette, Hot 97 be on. You got to press, you waiting for your favorite song to come on, press record. You making your little homemade mixtapes, right? So now sometimes you might have the boombox, and then you will also have if you had like a home stereo system. You had the stereo system that had the cassette player. Now the cassette player usually had two decks, right? You had one to play, and then you could play it back on both decks. But the way it worked is you can dub tapes. You can make copies of tapes. So what you would do is you would record. You probably have 4 or 5 different tapes that you use to record songs on the radio. Now you get another tape, and then you dub those tapes down, right? And the way I used to dub the tape down is I used to take songs from different tapes to put it on the tape to make a particular tape with certain songs. That's what I had. This was before the internet. So I'm talking about this is like mid to late 90s, right? Before the internet came, we had to this is what we had to do to listen to music. And if you weren't going to the store to buy an album the same way you had cats buying sneakers, like some of y'all might be able to go to the store and buy Jordans. Some of y'all might buy Jordans online, right? Some of y'all buy y'all music, y'all download y'all music, and y'all stream y'all music. Back in the day, if you really wanted to cop a album or what they would call a record, you would have to go to the store, right? And then when it came time down, when downloading music came, that changed the game for everybody. Now you can just like download certain songs you like. You didn't really have to download the albums. In my opinion, that kind of took away from the quality of music because a lot of music, a lot of albums that came out back in the day kind of had a story or a theme to it, and it was really a piece of art that you really had to sit with. Nowadays, albums just feel like just a group of songs, no structure, no flow. Like you might like a song here and then you might like a song there. I know some people like it, like being taken all over the place. But I like my albums like I like a good book. I like it to streamline itself, not necessarily be linear, but have a flow to it. And that's the thing about curating playlists. Like you can create your own flow, you can create your own vibe. So I have a playlist for every single occasion. Like I said, I started off with the school day mixtape. Now, on my way to work, those same songs that I used to listen to on my way to school, I listen to on my way to work now. Um, Even when I used to be on my way to class, driving to campus, or before class, I would be, either in a library or just like in a abandoned classroom by myself, doing my work, listening to my school day playlist and my weekday playlist. Those are the songs that I call them grind songs. Like it's called like I call them. It's like a grind mixtape to me because this is music that get me going, keep me focused, keeps me sharp. Right? I got my weekend playlist. I got my TGIF playlist. It's a Friday playlist. I got a weekend playlist. I got a I got a Sunday playlist. Right? Because Sunday's a very chill day for me. I know a lot of people tend to a lot of people go to church on, whatever day you go to church on. And that's pretty much what my Sunday playlist is. It's kind of like, there's gospel in it. Like I listen to gospel, so I might throw a little bit of gospel in there, throw a little bit of reggae, but all the songs have a theme. It's kind of like, I call it blessing up. Like I'll have that playlist is called Bless Up. So it's like, it's going to be all of the theme music that you would more so affiliate with praise music, so to say, right? So all of those playlists that I have, they help me when I'm in a certain mood. And the cool thing about it is when I'm playing it for people and they're really digging it too. And it's like, yo, we're on this vibe and we're on this wavelength, and it's a really amazing experience. So I'm really excited to just like continue to build my playlist, and there's a lot of new music that I haven't had a chance to listen to yet. I'll take suggestions from y'all too, because I'm always open to listening to new music. I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those old heads that be complaining, that be talking about mumble rap and this new music. I give all new music a chance, but I don't necessarily dismiss it if I don't like it the first time. I try to sit with it and try to, assess it fairly, because I'm a lover of music. I'm a lover of culture. So that's really one of the things that will always be there, be consistent for me, right? Um, I got a grown playlist, and my grown playlist is like, it's just really a lot of old school stuff, a lot of older stuff, classic R&B, soul music. A lot of those songs are songs that rappers ended up sampling, but I like to call it Cadillac music, because when I was growing up, a lot of the older guys, a lot of the older people, they would be driving Cadillacs, and they had so much swag, and the music that they played just kind of gave it such a feeling of like sophistication to me. Like it was so dope. I wanted to be one of those cats that used to dress nice and drive a Cadillac or drive a nice car. Well, I'm at late 80s, 90s, baby. So it might not just necessarily be like a Cadillac, but I grew up in the era where as Cadillacs kind of transferred over to like European cars. One thing about hip hop is car culture is such a big thing. So like, growing up watching, you see cars driving by. Sometimes you be sitting on the corner of your block and you just watch cars go by, and you're looking at what they're driving and what they're playing. So, a lot of that is usually reflected in the music. So like when I'm in my self-care mode and I put that music on, I'm always brought to a space, into a time. And that's usually where I can do like a lot of, that's where a lot of my creativity comes to thrive. And, I do a lot of creative writing in that space, write in my journal, exercise my self-care. Listening to podcasts to get my mind going too. I listen to a lot of basketball podcasts, because I'm a real big sports fan, as y'all know. Some of y'all may know already. I'm a really big basketball fan, so I listen to a lot of sports podcasts. Um, I'm trying to get my podcast list up too. So when I'm in the house, um, I always have something to listen to. Something's always going to be on. If it's not a podcast and it's not a playlist, may have a movie on in the background. Since we in a holiday season, I be halfway stuck in the house watching movies, and that's just by choice. So I might catch a holiday movie here and there, but I'm a big fan of the Marvel movies. I also like a lot of classic movies. So I'm gonna be getting real cozy with the Netflix. I just finished Cobra Kai. I'm waiting for season two. What other shows I'm looking forward to? Lovecraft County just ended. That was an amazing show. Probably gonna watch it again. Waiting for season two. Um, but yo, I think I'm really waiting for like Cobra Kai. Like I'm waiting for Cobra Kai season three because I loved the Karate Kid when I was little. Netflix always has a really good choice of movies. Shout out to Miss Patsy because she's always giving me good titles to catch up on Netflix, and so and Mr. Doing as well. So I gotta definitely like hit them up and be like, yo, what do I need to watch? But those are all gonna be like self-care things. It's gonna be music, it's gonna be playlists, it's gonna be podcasts, because I want to really give myself the space to harness creative energy. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be inspired, and I also want to give my mind a break. So sometimes some things may be intense, whether it's the content, whether it's music, or otherwise. Sometimes you might be dealing with a heavy subject content, but I like to balance it all out. But those are gonna be the things that's like my self care list. Like, and everybody needs a self care list. Whatever it is you want to do, whether it's you listening to music, you reading the book. I got a book list for the winter that I'm working on, and I'm looking to also curate a book list for y'all. Like, I don't know how many y'all into reading, but if you want to get into reading, there's a couple of I could hit y'all off with the classics. Like, yo, there's some low key heat as far as like teen fiction, really great stories, really great fiction writers. If you like science fiction, there's some really dope stuff that I even just came across recently. But yo, just get your self-care regimen up for the holidays. The rates are spiking, so you might be cooped up in the house again. But get your self care up too. And another thing that's also a fun thing that I like to do on the self care tip is Pinterest. Like, I don't know how many of y'all familiar with Pinterest, yo. Pinterest for me is like it's what I use to get inspired in regards to photography. Photography is another hobby of mine, and I use Pinterest to give myself ideas. I use Pinterest. A lot of my Pinterest stuff is like late '80s hip hop. Like, you see the Ella album cover. Like, I got Pinterest stuff of rappers of that era wearing certain fashions. Like, they might be wearing Truth. They might be wearing Dapper Dan. They might be wearing Nike sweatsuit, Adidas tracksuit. And yo, let me tell y'all young folks something, man. Listen, if you come into my space and you got Nike's on with an Adidas tracksuit, we got to talk about that. Okay, I come from an era where if you wear an Adidas tracksuit, you better wear Adidas with it. Okay, so we got to really talk about that. So I use Pinterest as my board. But I just wanted to remind y'all, like, yo, if you got Pinterest and you into hip hop and you into fashion and you into looking fly, go into that 80s, 90s hip hop fashion rabbit hole and learn a couple of things. But back in the day, we ain't brand mixed like that. I'm not wearing Jordans with an Adidas tracksuit. No, we're not doing that. You feel what I'm saying? We're not doing that. We don't cross brand, right? You know what I'm saying? I could wear a Champion sweater with some Jordans, but I want y'all to understand something. Champion sneakers wasn't really Champion sneakers wasn't really popping until maybe recently. It was Champion hoodies, Champion sweatshirts, Champion sweats. You can wear whatever sneakers you want. Champion was known for sneakers, right? So those are the things that I kind of like, delve myself into. You know, I do like I usually used Pinterest to start debates sometimes. Like, yo, I'd be debating with cats about which Jordans were the best Jordans. And here's another interesting tidbit too, and I might even put it in the background of my next Kenny in the Cut. LL Cool J was the first rapper to ever wear a pair of Jordans on an album cover. LL Cool J is probably the first rapper to wear Jordans. Period. Like been seen wearing Jordans. He was wearing the ones on the back cover of his first album. That's all facts. So, I do all these things because it's fun. I do all these things because it's like, it bridges the generational gap. I got people who are older than me that grew up in that era. I love listening to their stories. I watch a lot of interviews from people from that era. All those things to me are self care. And I'm fortunate for like I can use my self care to fuel my creativity, and that's definitely one of the things that I wanted to highlight today. Like I just wanted to tell y'all about that because like in the times that we live in, we always talking about working hard. Y'all all are achieving your goals, working hard to achieve your goals. But I also want y'all to take some time to put your head down, have a little fun, enjoy yourself, take care of yourself, treat yourself. You know what I'm saying? And treat yourself to the stuff that you enjoy. Curate a playlist for yourself, man. You know, discover a new hobby. Everybody needs an outlet. Find your outlet, man, and harness it. Hug it. Develop your outlet. Hug your outlet. Love your outlet, because your outlet is gonna be the balance that you need for when you're out chasing your ultimate dreams and your ultimate goals. And not for nothing, some of y'all can use these outlets and turn these outlets into real careers. You could use these outlets and turn these into real careers. Like this album cover is one of the reasons why I'm into photography. Like hip hop album covers is one of the reasons why I'm into photography. My mom, God bless her soul, she was a photographer by hobby. So I got my love of photography from her. And then hip hop really, bam, man, it just really hit me, the images. And when I a couple of years ago, it just was it was just it's kind of like reuniting with a long lost love, and it's beautiful. And I'm going to continue using photography as an outlet. So I want y'all to embrace your outlets. Use that either as fuel, as a replenish, or just use it as a reprieve. However you see fit to use it, I want y'all to use it because it's going to help expand your mind. It's going to help keep your mind fresh and creative. And in the times that we're living in, we definitely need those outlets, and we definitely need to connect with the things that we're passionate about and be very intentional with our relationship with those things, you know. But all in all, we out here. We're surviving and we're thriving. No matter what we do, we should all be doing it with love and with care, you know, and that's the most radical form of self-care. So, with that being said, this is Mr. Jean, your neighborhood CCRC in full effect. This has been Kenny in the Cut. I'm looking forward to building with y'all. Always hit me up. I know on the YouTube page that comments are disabled for the most part, but y'all can always hit my line. Hit my line. Y'all know my contact information. Shoot me a email. Be like, yo, I messed with y'all. I enjoyed Kenny in the Cut. We could get real. We could get active on it. We could get active in the comments. I'm always looking for suggestions on what to talk about. Anyone y'all want to come on here and talk about? I definitely wanted to talk to some of y'all because I know a lot of y'all. We got a couple of students that are into music. We got a couple of students that are into entertainment. So I definitely wanted to see who would want to come on here and let's talk shop. Let's do it. Let's have a conversation about it. So hit me up. I want all suggestions. I'm definitely open to bringing some of y'all on here and we chopping it up about whatever y'all want to talk about, you know, and then we can definitely make it happen. And then we could put on for all of P2G, you know, because we're a learning community. I wanted this platform, like I said, we try to go beyond the always, and we just want we want y'all to definitely know that y'all got a voice. So y'all come up on here, like let's make it happen. Either way. But until next time, this is Mr. Jean, and I'm signing out. Love and peace. And enjoy your holidays. And please act accordingly because we still in the pandemic. Oh yeah, happy birthday to me. Peace.